Welcome the rare gems. Real ones don't make noise. They make people uncomfortable just by existing. Let's be real. If you're the kind of woman who minds her business, keeps her circle tight, and refuses to play fake just to keep people happy, you're not just different. You're a Sigma female. And whether you know it or not, your quiet strength sends shockwaves through the kind of people who live off validation, attention, and pretending to be someone they're not. You don't fake smiles. You don't chase crowds. And when something feels off, you don't argue. You just leave. That kind of authenticity makes fake people itch. Why? Because you can see through the performance they worked so hard to build. You don't buy into the drama, you don't feed the egos, and most of all, you don't play along. It's not that you're trying to expose anyone. You're just busy protecting your peace, asking real questions, and staying true to yourself, but that alone drives the masks to crack. And that's exactly why people either deeply respect you or secretly can't stand you. This isn't about being better than anyone. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to shrink to fit into shallow spaces. So if you've ever been told you're too quiet, too distant, or too hard to read, chances are you're doing something right. Stick around till the end of this video, because once you see the 11 things you do that secretly drive fake people crazy, you'll stop questioning yourself and start owning your power. Let's get started. The rare gems. Number 1. They ruin the fun of gossip by asking, "Why do you care so much?" Let's talk about one of the most underrated, uncomfortable superpowers Sigma females have: ruining gossip without even trying. See, most people engage in gossip to feel connected, powerful, or just entertained. It's like a group bonding activity, low-key trashing someone who isn't there to defend themselves. But when a Sigma female's in the room, the air shifts. She doesn't jump in. She doesn't laugh along. She listens. Then she asks the question no one's ready for. Why do you care so much? Not in a loud, judgmental way. More like a calm, razor-sharp observation that makes everyone suddenly look at their plate, their phone, or the floor. Because now, it's not about them anymore, it's about you. Why are you so invested in someone else's business? Why does their downfall make you feel better? Why is their name in your mouth more than your own goals are in your life? That single question kills the vibe for fake people because it exposes what gossip is really covering up: insecurity, envy, boredom, or the need to feel superior. It pulls the mask off the just talking game and shows it for what it really is: emotional junk food. And what makes Sigma females different is they don't just avoid gossip, they interrupt it. Not with drama, not with lectures, but with clarity. They make people second-guess why they even opened their mouths in the first place. That's not being rude. That's being real. She's not playing saint, she's just not wired to feed on other people's flaws. Her energy isn't moved by someone else's chaos. And that unsettles the fake crowd, because if you're not here to laugh with them, it feels like you're quietly judging all of them. And maybe she is. Because when you don't indulge in tearing others down, it makes people wonder what you're building within yourself. And that's what makes her so damn powerful and dangerous to anyone still hiding behind the mask of fake. Number 2, they see through vibes and want patterns. Instead, most people are easy to impress with a good vibe. Be nice, smile a little, throw in a deep quote, and boom, people think you're the real deal. But not Sigma females. That stuff doesn't work on them. Why? Because they don't fall for moments. They study patterns. You can act kind all day, but if your energy switches up when you're not getting attention, they'll catch it. You can post inspiring stuff online, but if you treat people like trash in private, they'll notice. Sigma females are wired differently. They're not watching what you show, they're watching what you repeat. Here's the thing. Fake people are great at the first impression. They've practiced it. They know how to look put together, confident, spiritual, or successful. But keeping that up over time, that's where it all starts to crack. That's where the Sigma female quietly begins connecting dots. And once she sees a pattern, it's game over. She doesn't expose you, she doesn't confront you, she just starts backing away. Because once she spots inconsistency, she sees it as emotional instability. And to her, that's a red flag. If your energy is only good when eyes are on you but messy behind closed doors, she's not sticking around to play therapist. She's not impressed by charm, expensive clothes, or big talk. She wants alignment, your words matching your behavior, your kindness holding steady even when no one's watching. That's the kind of thing that earns her trust. And what makes her presence so dangerous to fake people is that she's not loud about what she sees. She'll just quietly move different around you. That shift alone will haunt someone who knows deep down they're not as authentic as they pretend to be. Because when a Sigma female stops believing the performance, the whole act loses its power. Number 3, they ask real questions, the kind that make you sweat. Most people ask questions just to be polite, stuff like, "How's your day?" or "What do you do?" Small talk designed to keep things safe and comfortable. But Sigma females, they don't do surface level. They're not wired that way. They skip straight to the kind of questions that make people freeze for a second, maybe laugh nervously, and definitely overthink for the rest of the night. You'll be mid-convo thinking you're vibing, and then out of nowhere she drops, "Why do you think you always need approval?" Boom, that's not shade. That's clarity. Sigma females aren't being rude. They're just allergic to fake connections. They'd rather make you uncomfortable with truth than bond over pretending everything's fine. And the truth is, most people aren't used to being seen that deeply. Fake people especially hate this. They build a whole personality around being liked, admired, or envied. But when a Sigma female starts peeling that back, not by arguing, but by calmly asking why, the whole performance begins to glitch. And it's not just what she asks, it's how she asks. She's not trying to embarrass you or play psychologist. It's casual, calm, and somehow hits harder than any confrontation. It's like she's holding up a mirror, and the reflection is just a little too honest for comfort. Suddenly, you're not in control of the conversation anymore. Suddenly, you're thinking about things you've been avoiding. That's her power. She doesn't want to hear the version of you you've rehearsed. She wants the part you keep hidden. And when she brings that part to the surface with a single question, it's both terrifying and magnetic. Because once someone sees through your mask without attacking you, it gets harder to wear it around them. And that's exactly why fake people can't handle Sigma females for too long. Number 4, they treat popularity like a red flag. Sigma females don't chase popularity, and they definitely don't worship it. In fact, when they see someone being adored by everyone, their first reaction isn't, "Wow, they must be amazing." It's more like, what are they hiding? See, being liked by too many people isn't a green flag to them, it's a giant, blinking red one. Because to win that much approval, you usually have to water yourself down. You start smoothing over opinions, agreeing with everyone, avoiding friction, and playing to the crowd. And to a Sigma female, that screams inauthenticity. They're not impressed by charm that works on everyone. They're suspicious of it. Not because they're bitter or closed off, but because they know how fake the world can be. If you're bending yourself to be everything for everyone, you're probably not being honest about who you are. That unnerves fake people, because so much of their energy is tied up in being liked. They feed on praise, attention, applause. It gives them identity. But when a Sigma female doesn't buy into that, when she looks at their popularity like it's a carefully polished mask, it rattles them. She's the person in the room who won't clap just because everyone else is. She's not moved by loud crowds or viral energy. She wants depth, substance, integrity. If you're too smooth, too well-loved, too calculated in how you present yourself, she's already questioning it. And here's the quiet truth. When someone stops being impressed by the thing you rely on to feel powerful, it shakes you. Sigma females do that without saying a word, just by staying neutral, curious, and unbothered. Because to them, being real will always matter more than being liked. And they know that being liked by everyone often means you're not truly known by anyone. Number 5, they keep receipts, mentally. Sigma females don't blow up your spot the second something feels off. They don't start drama, raise their voice, or call you out in front of a crowd. Nope. They do something way more dangerous. They keep receipts, mentally. See, when a fake person starts slipping up, telling half-truths, switching stories, acting two-faced, a Sigma female doesn't jump in. She watches, she listens, she remembers. Every weird comment, every contradiction, every little moment that didn't sit right gets filed away like a mental screenshot. She doesn't need screenshots on her phone. She's got them locked in her mind. Quietly, carefully. By the time that fake person finally exposes themselves, she's already 10 steps ahead. She's connected the dots. She's seen the pattern. And when she decides to respond, if she even bothers to, she doesn't bring emotion, she brings evidence. That's what fake people can't stand. They rely on chaos and confusion. They count on people being too distracted to notice the cracks. But the Sigma female? She notices everything, and she doesn't need to warn you that she's catching on. Her silence is the warning. What makes it even scarier? She'll keep engaging like nothing's wrong, still polite, still calm. But underneath, she's observing, testing, waiting. So when the mask finally falls, she's not surprised. She's ready. And she won't come at you with messy accusations. She'll drop one sentence that hits harder than a full-blown argument. Something so precise, so specific, it makes the faker realize they've been outplayed this whole time by someone who never raised their voice. That's the Sigma way, calm, calculating, and impossible to fool for long. You might lie, exaggerate, or perform, but she's taking notes, quietly, patiently. And by the time you realize she was never really buying it, it's already too late. Number 6. They give zero emotional reactions when baited. Fake people thrive on reaction. They throw shade, stir the pot, drop passive-aggressive comments, not because they're brave, but because they want to see if you'll bite. Drama is their currency, and emotional reactions are how they cash in. But then they run into a Sigma female, and suddenly, their game doesn't work. You can try to poke her ego, subtly insult her, or drag her into chaos, but she won't flinch. No eye twitch, no loud comeback, not even a raised eyebrow, just calm, steady silence. That unreadable face, that is the response. And it drives fake people absolutely nuts. Why? Because they don't know if it landed. They don't know if she's mad, if she noticed, if she's planning a comeback, or if she just doesn't care. That not knowing eats them alive. They can't stand being ignored. They need the show. They need the spark. But the Sigma female? She offers none. She's not playing hard to get. She's just not interested in games. She's mastered emotional self-control in a way that turns petty drama into background noise. Her silence doesn't mean weakness. It means power. Because the moment you need a reaction to feel in control, you've already lost it. And Sigma females know that. So while everyone else is getting pulled into emotional whirlpools, she's just sitting there, untouched, unmoved, and completely unbothered. Not because she's cold, but because she knows what you're doing and she won't give you the satisfaction. And when fake people realize their tactics don't work on her, that their drama fell flat, that they couldn't get even a flicker of attention, that's when the panic sets in. Because nothing scares a manipulator more than a person who's seen through the bait and just smiled, stayed silent, and walked away. Number 7. They don't beg to belong. Fake people live for the feeling of being in the group, in the loop, in the spotlight. Inclusion is their drug, and they'll shape-shift, overshare, and suck up just to stay part of something, even if that something isn't real. But Sigma females, they don't beg to belong. In fact, they'd rather not be included if it means shrinking who they are. That quiet refusal to conform, it makes fake people squirm. Because here's someone who's not performing for approval, not laughing at jokes that aren't funny, not dressing, talking, or thinking just to match the room. A Sigma female doesn't need the crowd to feel valuable. She brings her value with her, whether people clap for her or not. She'll show up, observe, maybe engage, but she doesn't need to be liked. And that outsider energy, it's powerful. It highlights how much effort fake people put into blending in. They start questioning, why do I care so much about what these people think? That's why Sigma females make people nervous without saying a word. They don't chase acceptance, which makes the ones who do feel exposed. She knows that real belonging only happens when you're being fully yourself. And if that makes her too different, too intense, or too honest for the group, she's fine walking away alone, with her head high. See, most people fear being on the outside, but a Sigma female, that's where she thrives. She doesn't lose sleep over being left out, because she knows some rooms just aren't worth being in. And when fake people realize she's not even trying to get their approval, that she's actually more powerful standing alone than they are in a crowd, that's when the insecurity kicks in. Because nothing unsettles a faker more than someone who's already whole without the performance. Number 8, they don't let fake people feed off their glow. Sigma females walk into a room and shift the energy without even trying. It's not the outfit, it's not the volume. It's that quiet, magnetic presence, the kind that doesn't demand attention but commands it. And fake people, they sniff that out fast, but not because they admire it, they want to feed off it. See, when a Sigma female shines, fakers try to slide into her orbit. Suddenly they're always around, always clapping the loudest, always supportive. But it's not genuine. It's parasitic. They don't love her. They love the attention she brings, the way being seen next to her boosts their own image. They mimic her vibe, echo her opinions, even try to copy her mystery. But here's the catch. They don't understand the source of her glow, because it doesn't come from performance. It comes from authenticity, from being deeply in tune with who she is, even if that makes her stand out or be misunderstood. And Sigma females? They notice the leeches. They spot the patterns, the flattery that feels hollow, the friendship that feels staged. They see who claps the loudest when eyes are watching, and who disappears when they're not. So what do? They cut the cord, quietly, cleanly. No fight, no announcement, just distance, just disconnection. Because the Sigma female protects her energy like gold. She knows her presence is powerful, and not everyone deserves access to it, especially not those trying to use her light to cover their own emptiness. And when fake people realize they're no longer allowed near the glow, that no amount of clapping or copying can earn them a spot back in her orbit, that's when the panic hits. Because nothing frustrates a faker more than someone who sees through the act and simply walks away, shining even brighter, alone. Number 9. They detect fake apologies in milliseconds. Sigma females have a sixth sense for fake apologies, and it's almost unfair how fast they catch them. You could say, "I'm sorry," with tears in your eyes and the perfect tone, but if even one thing feels off, your timing, your body language, the way you dodge certain words, they already know. They're not listening to what you say, they're scanning why you're saying it. See, fake people use apologies like a reset button. They think saying the words, "I'm sorry," is enough to wipe the slate clean. But a Sigma female doesn't buy it. She knows there's a huge difference between being sorry you did it and being sorry you got caught. She pays attention to the unspoken part of the apology. Did it come only after the damage was done and she called it out? Are you apologizing or just trying to control how you're seen? Are you actually owning it or just giving a performance to get back in her good graces? Sigma females notice when you're dodging blame by saying things like, "I'm sorry if you felt hurt," or "I didn't mean to make you feel that way." They pick up on every deflection, every half-truth, every calculated pause. And they won't confront you yet. They'll just file it. And once they've labeled your apology as insincere, you're done. Not in an explosive, dramatic way, just in a quiet, permanent way. They don't give second chances to rehearsed remorse. They don't need closure through conversations. They get it by watching what you do after the apology. The Sigma female doesn't need you to grovel. She just needs the truth. And if your "I'm sorry" is laced with ego, excuses, or strategy, she'll smile politely. But inside, she's already closed the book on you, because nothing confuses a fake person more than being forgiven with grace, but never trusted again. Number 10. They call the bluff with calm precision. Fake people love to throw out little emotional traps. Passive-aggressive comments, backhanded compliments, guilt trips dressed up as vulnerability. It's their version of psychological chess. But when they try that with a Sigma female, the board flips fast. Sigma females don't play emotional games, they observe them, quietly, intentionally. While others get caught in the mess of, "Did she just insult me?" or "Should I say something?" The Sigma is already 3 steps ahead, calmly loading the truth like a sniper loads a bullet. She doesn't react, she responds. And when she does, it's surgical. You say something like, "Wow, I guess not everyone can afford to be so independent." She replies, "You're welcome to try it sometime." No yelling, no scene, just a perfectly placed line that cuts through the fog of fakery and lands with pinpoint precision. It exposes the manipulation without ever sounding emotional or bitter. That's what throws fake people off. They expect a dramatic reaction. They want shouting, defensiveness, or even silence. What they don't know how to handle is calm clarity, the kind that makes everyone in the room suddenly realize, oh, she saw right through that. Sigma females don't waste time decoding your nonsense. They just label it out loud with class and chill. They know the power of calling out a bluff without giving the bluffer a show. And once a fake person realizes their little games don't work here, that their digs don't land and their stories don't earn sympathy, they panic. Because the Sigma didn't just see through the mask. She described it in detail, handed it back, and walked away before you could figure out what just happened. It's not revenge. It's not cruelty. It's precision. And that's exactly why fake people can't stand her but can't stop watching her either. Number 11. They remember the tone, not just the words. Fake people often think they're slick with their harmless jokes and subtle digs. You know the type, disguising insults as humor, then acting shocked when someone takes it personally. But Sigma females? They don't laugh it off. They don't call it out either. They just remember everything. They remember the exact way you said it. The pause you took before delivering the joke. The tone you used when you pretended to be supportive but couldn't hide the sarcasm. The side eye, the smirk, the raised eyebrow. You may forget it in 10 minutes. She won't forget it ever. Because Sigma females don't just listen to words. They listen to intent. They study tone like it's a language. And the moment they catch a hint of mockery, jealousy, or fake encouragement in your voice, you've already been refiled, quietly and permanently. She won't cause a scene. She won't ask for an explanation. She won't give you the satisfaction of knowing she noticed. But what you won't notice is that she's already started pulling back, just enough for you to feel it, but not enough for you to call her out. You thought your little comment about her dreams being cute was funny? She heard the ego in your voice. She clocked the insecurity behind it. And now you've shown your hand. She knows you can't be trusted to clap when she wins. And that's the thing about Sigma females. They don't fight to prove anything. They simply observe, label, and act accordingly. You never get a second audition. So while fake people waste time trying to manage appearances, she's filing away every tone, every slip, every fake laugh. And when she disappears or goes silent, they're left wondering what happened. What happened? You weren't listening. She was. In the end, what really drives fake people crazy about Sigma females is not just their actions, but their very essence. Sigma females don't play by anyone's rules but their own. They're not concerned with fitting in, maintaining a facade, or trying to earn validation from people who can't see their worth. This genuine, no-nonsense approach is what makes them so unsettling to those who thrive on pretense. What fake people can't stand is the unwavering authenticity of Sigma females. They don't beg for approval or seek to control others' perceptions. They call out bullshit when they see it and don't flinch when their silence makes others squirm. They understand that true power doesn't need constant validation. It quietly observes, categorizes, and moves forward. If you're a Sigma female, remember this: your ability to see through the surface and demand honesty is not a flaw, it's your superpower. Keep owning your truth. Because while the fake people might squirm, they can't break what's already unshakable in you. Keep letting your quiet confidence be the loudest thing in the room. Keep staying true to who you are, and watch how the world reacts. Not because you seek their approval, but because they can't help but notice the strength in your calm. At the end of the day, Sigma females drive fake people crazy because they can't be controlled, manipulated, or boxed in. They're a constant reminder that the real power lies in authenticity, and that's something no fake person will ever understand. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.